Hi, my name is Lois. I'm the founder of Twiggy Tags, and today we're looking at the fitting of the Lite Harness. Bailey is superbly modelling it here. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks and tips of how to get the best adjustment, where to adjust it, and the whole process of fitting it on your dog to make sure the fit is perfect. When your harness arrives, it's going to look like this. You're going to take it off the bungee on the packaging, and the first things first is you're going to unclip all of the unclippable sections. So the first one is the neck clip, because this harness doesn't have to go over your dog's head, and then you've got the two buckles at the back. These are the standard clip buckles. And for your first fit, just pop it on your dog, especially when they're gear shy. Just do it gently and carefully, making sure that you're giving them really nice rewards if they are a little bit anxious about a harness and it's perhaps their first time wearing one. Then I'm going to pop it on here just to make sure that there's any quick adjustments that you need to do. Now this is looking really good on Bailey, and there's a couple of things you want to look out for. So you want to make sure that you've got 2 fingers gap on either side of the chest pieces here, and same on the neck. The first place you're going to do the fitting is the chest. You need to make sure that it is pulled back for your dog, and if you need to loosen the neck first, that's absolutely fine. And to adjust the chest, you're going to use these metal adjusters here. Now they just get pulled up and down, so the closer that they are to the clip, the longer that they are on the dog. So you'll see here, I've got loads of space underneath there, which is not what I want. So in order to tighten it, you're going to pull this away from the plastic clip. And then you've got 2 fingers gap both sides. They have a really handy bungee elastic underneath the chest piece here, which means that you do get a little bit of give when you put that in, and it means that it sits nice and tight to their chest, even with a 2 finger gap. Once you're happy with the chest fit, that you've got a really nice gap behind the armpits there, we're looking for about 3 to 4 finger gap, just to ensure that we don't get any matting, chafing or uncomfortable patches underneath the armpits. So really nice clearance there. The next part is the neck. So you do have a neck clip here, which means that it doesn't have to go over your dog's head. And the adjustment principle is very similar. You've got these adjusters here. You can pass these through the little loop here, so you're not limited at this point. You've got all of this extra scope. To make it larger, you're going to adjust towards your neck clip, or to make it smaller, you're going to adjust towards the chest piece at the front here. Now, when it is nicely adjusted, this is going to not be difficult to put in. So we do need that extra bit of space here. But to ensure that the harness is safe for Bailey to go on her adventures, we do need to make sure that the neck sits flat against the dog. So I'm just going to pull that through the loop here. This is to stop this piece of hardware moving around. So you see there, we've got really nice flat point, which means that this doesn't move. Now, we're not saying that this will come undone, but to ensure that it is the safest it could possibly be, we want this to be a flat sit against the dog. Now, the other points to look out of with the neck fit is that this section isn't right up against their neck here. We want this to be pulled down. This is one of the reasons why we did the chest fitting first, to ensure that it is a really nice position at the front of the chest. All dogs have, similar to we have an Adam's apple, they have a pointy out section just around here, which is their breastbone. You can have a little feel around. Now the front of the harness is going to want to protect that, and it's not going to want to go much beyond above that. And that's where the harness wants to sit, at the front here. Another thing to check when you have fitted it all and you're happy with how it's looking, with the 2 finger gap here and the 2 finger gap here, just grab the D-ring here or grab the back of the harness and just give a little bit of pressure here. Now we want to ensure that the first thing that doesn't happen, which means that the neck may be slightly too big, is that the harness pulls all the way up here. Now, because this is fit really nicely, you'll notice that that doesn't happen. If I make this a little bit bigger, I'll show you what could happen if it was fitted too large. So I'm just going to elongate the neck there and show you what happens. So if that fits too large, the first thing you'll get is when your dog's on a walk, you'll get a lift here, and you'll also get this pulling all the way up here. So we want to make sure that it is flat. So I'm just going to adjust that back to where it should be. If at any point your dog is feeling a little bit nervous about the harness, do feel free to take it off, adjust it while it's off them, and do little adjustments and then put it back on them, making sure you're rewarding them through the process. With the fit looking really good, we've got that space behind the armpits, we've got full freedom of movement on the shoulder here. The last thing we do need to check is that the harness isn't going into any sort of manlyhood, any sort of area which could cause discomfort. We do occasionally see harnesses that are a little bit too far back for the dog, going past their last rib, which is not what we want with this style of harness, because we're trying to reduce any pressure on the neck, on the abdominal area, or especially across any shoulder area too. So with this Lite harness, we also have two D-rings. We have one on the back, but you'll notice it is a little bit further back down the dog's back. And then we also have on the front here as well. Now, same with all of our harnesses, we always say if you're going to attach to the front, please make sure that you're attaching to the back. This means that you don't get any sort of twist. If I was to attach to the back and the front, it reduces the amount of twist, but you can steer the dog in the correct direction without having too much. If I just use that, all of a sudden you get this full massive twist and you get this really annoying gaping. But that is immediately fixed by adding pressure on the back, which just enables you to control your dog with the back point and then adjust with the front. Also on the Lite harness, you do have this small piece of webbing on the back, which is a really handy pinpoint to attach your Trek Bright light to. As we were discussing, to make sure that it isn't lopsided, especially if you're considering using a double-ended technique, to make sure that the adjusters are matched and they're symmetrical on both sides. So you can see here, this is a big problem. We've got one adjuster all the way down here and one up here. We need to make sure that these match on both sides. So all you're going to do is reduce it a little bit on this side and then increase it on the other side to kind of balance it out a little bit. And that is what you're looking for, two symmetrical sections on both sides. This also needs to be the case for the chest area as well. You need to make sure that they are both equal on both sides. Very similar to our Adventure 2.0 harness, the Lite has 4 adjustment points, 2 on the neck and 2 on the chest. There is a lot of overlap in our sizing, which means that you can sort of project what your dog's going to be to ensure that you don't have to buy numerous harnesses. And allowing all of these different bits of adjustment mean that you can find the perfect fit for your dog. We always suggest that you check your harness fit on your dog regularly. This might be that they've gained a little bit of weight, it might be that they've had a groom and their coat's cut a little bit shorter, but make sure that you're always checking that the harness is adjusted correctly so that it is the safest it can possibly be for your dog. So inside of all of our harnesses, you'll find a handy guide. So you'll probably find me with a fitting video. You'll also find care instructions and so much more if you scan this handy QR code. You'll also find the sizing. So if you ever need to maybe purchase another one, you've got all the handy sizing information here. And then on the chest piece, you have a section where you can write your phone number. It's also got our details there if you ever need to get in touch with us. The Lite harness, by name, has slightly less padding than our other harnesses, but it is still super comfortable. It is an anti-chafe lining, which means that it shouldn't rub any skin uncomfortably, but it does still hold a really nice structure. It's not floppy, and the padding provides plenty of support. It's just a little bit lighter weight and a perfect summer option for your dog. It's really difficult to kind of understand the perfect fit, especially when all dogs are different shapes and sizes. General rule of thumb, if you're struggling to get a harness fitting, is to check that the chest piece here is a roughly 90-degree angle to your dog. So this means that it isn't too tight, close into their armpits, or too long and surpassing that angle. And we want it at this really nice 90-degree angle. We know fitting a harness can be really difficult, but we're trying to make it as easy as possible with the fitting video. However, if you need a little bit more help, don't forget we're always available via email, socials, or via our chat box. If you need any extra fitting help, advice, we can definitely help you out with a picture or a couple of tweaks to make sure it is absolutely perfect, because your dog's safety is our absolute priority.